Texan Massacre's Monster Madness.
Some of the creepiest horror films ever made are from the silent era. Hexen from 1922 is no exception. Somehow the scratched up image and the complete lack of sound create a disturbing tone. I think it also has something to do with knowing how old these movies are. They were made with outdated film techniques, and it's a miracle some of these movies still exist today. It's like unearthing an ancient artifact. There's no actors we recognize, nobody to connect it to. My grandparents weren't even born then. So we feel very distant to these kind of movies, and that adds to its atmosphere of mystery and haunting quality because we're so detached from it. What makes this one especially interesting is that it has some pretty scary images. It involves the devil, it exploits the topic of witchcraft, and there's some nudity. It pushed the boundaries of horror back then to an extent that seems unimaginable for those days. To sum up this movie is difficult because it combines so many stories. It's a hodgepodge. It's all over the place. It begins as a documentary about the ideas of witchcraft and hell in the Middle Ages, and even goes so far to talk about all the outdated concepts of how the universe works. These are my favorite parts because it makes you feel like you're being educated back in ancient times. The biggest drawback, I think, are the titles, which is the nature of silent films because that's all they had. Yes, like I said, the silence enhances the nightmarish mood, but the titles often linger way too long and it slows down the experience. After the documentary part, it segues into a series of live-action, fictional narratives, little stories that make up the majority of the film. Here we see both actual depictions of witchcraft and women in the Middle Ages who are accused of being witches. The images are unforgettable. It definitely has some of the best shots in silent horror history. One of the most memorable characters is the devil, who was actually played by the director himself. The film was a Swedish and Danish production. It was re-released in the United States in 1968 as Witchcraft Through the Ages. It was cut down and a voiceover narration was added.
In the bowels of the earth was hell, and its eternal torments, one of which was to find yourself being put into a boiling cauldron.
The shorter runtime probably has a lot to do with all those title cards in the documentary portion being cut out. I think the narration helps the documentary portion tremendously, but what's up with that jazz score? Either way, you can find both versions on the DVD release by Criterion.